Okay, we're recording. So in this video, I hasten to call it a tutorial, but this morning I put on a leg harness, and I'm just going to change it so there's some emissive textures on it. This can work for any item. So this item here, I'm just going to make some paw prints up here, maybe on these two legs, and maybe a emissive. I might make. Oh, I could make an entire. I'll see what it's like when I get there, when I start painting. So you have your 3D object on your character, and it's bound to the armature, so it moves when he moves, and it's toggleable on the wheels. None of that's super important. This can be done before that. But what we're going to do, we're going to take the FBX, which is the skeleton of it. We're not going to take in the armature, and we're going to take in the main base matte paint of this, which is just the straps and I think the rivets. The rivets aren't 3D; they're just painted onto it with a height map. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our copy of, where is it gone? Here we go. Adobe Substance, or if you have the other one, Armor Paint, it'll be pretty much the same thing. So the first thing we want to do is going to go New, and we can use the default Unity render. You don't have a profile set up for exporting stuff and proper layers for Unity. We're going to select the file we want, which is in my Unity folder. So I have my Ziggy, and you can see your assets and stuff that's the same as in your Unity left side. So all these things here, we're looking for assets folder here is actually the same. So bounce back over too many icons here. Assets has everything that's in the architecture tree. And I know when I imported it into a thing called Rex leg harness, and there's the FBX. So the same here in Unity. Down here we have Rex leg harness, and Unity can see the leg harness FBX. So that's what we're going to import, and that'll import any layers and any objects in 3D in. It won't put in any textures. We're going to have to do that separately in a minute. So back to Painter. We're going to click on the leg harness, open it. Because it's not a high detail object, we don't want it insanely detailed. We're going to leave it on 2K, and that's all we need to change here. If it was like a skin or something you're editing, or you wanted a really detailed tattoo on the skin, you can switch it to 4K. Or if it's a quest model, you really want to keep it around 2 because it'll just bypass the 10 meg limit, and you'll never be able to upload it. So we're going to OK that. It's going to pull it in. So there's the unskinned model, and you can see what I was talking about. The rivets that I was originally going to change are not 3D objects. If I go here and take a look at my meshes, there's no 3D objects for the rivets there whatsoever. So, which means the 3D objects, or the rivets themselves, are just dots drawn onto the texture with a height map to make them look like they have a 3D size. So I was originally going to change those and give an emission for them so I can change the size or the color of the rivets and give them different covers. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to maybe change the colors of maybe 2 of the straps and put some little overlays of paws on them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the texture that we're going to edit. So in too many buttons. In Substance Painter, we have the 3D object and we have the 2D flattened down texture, which looks, well, 90% of the time is just a representation of the 3D leather base, which is this one. But you can see all the straps in here. They look just like the straps in the other 2D, but the middle bit is all gone because this is just kind of filler fluff. It's just the straps it looks for, and it knows where the edges are on the straps. Let me switch back to Painter. You can see they're all there the same as they were in another one. So we're going to put in a texture for it. So right now, you can see this has 2 layers. It has a leather layer and a ring layer. The ring layer is super easy because it's a single layer. I just pulled a matte cap on top of those in using Pyomi shaders, and it made them look like metal. But because the straps look leathery, it's a lot more complicated to do, and that's where we're going to pull out and make an emission layer for them. So you can see the rings here. They're super easy to do, and I just gave them I gave them the same texture as my earrings, actually. If I take a look at piercings, bracelet, that's the texture I gave them. You can see it's on top of it. And it doesn't interact with anything because it's a separate 3D object. So we're going to go back here to Painter. And we're going to pull in a texture. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to hide the metal because we don't need to see it. We're going to switch over to leather. We're going to go to layers. It's not so you can actually see. You couldn't see the layer switch there. So we have layers. So what we want to do is add a base layer. The base layer will be the entire texture for this overlay for the leather. So we're going to go new fill layer, which is the same as a base layer. Hey, how's it going? And in this fill layer, we're going to pull in the texture for the leather, and we're just going to let it go. And you can't draw directly on a fill layer. It's designed for an overall cover texture. It's like importing a texture into it. If you try to import a texture into a draw layer, it would just let you paint it or move it around. It doesn't fill out what you want, so you want a fill layer. So what we're going to do, we're going to go File, we're going to go Import Resources, we're going to go Add Resource. It opens up in the last place we were, which was where the FBX for the harness was. And in here we have our textures. We want the leather base texture. We want to tell it that it's a texture. And we want to import it into the current session. So it's not going to save it in our library because we're probably not going to use it again. There we go. We have our leather base texture in here. What we're going to do now is go back to our layers. And we have our fill properties. If you scroll down here, we have base color. We're going to drag this into the base color layer. And we get our texture. So it's just a flat texture. Right now, there's a light source in this scene. So you can see it's bright up here and dark down here. Because we're going to be editing, we're going to turn off all lighting. So we're just going to set the base color. It looks terrible, but it's much easier to draw on. I'm sure you can hear my kids screaming in the background. So what we're going to do is I want to make these two straps emissive, so they'll be completely bright, and I can change the texture of them, or I can, well, I can change the material of them, or I can change the color of them. So what we're going to do first is the way emissive textures work is they don't have texture. It's black and white. There's no gradients. Well, yeah, there's no real gradients. When you apply a texture to something or an emissive texture to something, all it looks for is a white area, and it'll automatically add whatever you want to add to a white area and ignore any black areas. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to blacken everything on this device, or on this flat texture, 2D texture, because we don't want to deal with anything. We don't want the studs, we don't want the shading, we don't want the stitches. So what we're going to do is, remember how to do this now. So you can't draw directly on a layer like this. We should be able to add another layer to it though. We want to add a paint layer. Okay, so on our paint layer, we can now paint. So we're in, this is the draw mode. So if I draw, you can see me drawing on both of them at the same time. If you're good at freehand drawing, there's no reason you can't do this. So I'm terrible at freehand drawing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint voxels or shapes, which is this guy here. So I'm going to tell it to, everything I'm highlighting, I wanted to paint it black. So everything is now black. Now the emission layer is going to ignore everything on this because it's black. It doesn't care about it anymore. And that's what we want, because we wanted to show the base layer through, which is the one with the stitching and the leather and the rivets. We wanted to only light up the stuff that we're going to draw on now. So I'm going to light up, I'm going to light up these straps. No, I'm just going to light up these two straps here that go down. So we're going to go back to our 3D. And which strap is that? Let me see. I want this to be white, because emissions only work on white layers. So you can see that they're the straps we're talking about. So I'm going to grab all this strap here. And I'm not sure where the edge, oh, this is the edge of the strap. Perfect. And there's also a back strap, which I'm assuming is this one. Oh, that's the right on the other side. So that's not the one I want. I want this one, which is that strap. I'm not drawing on two straps now. I want this strap. Oh, fuck, no, I want this strap. I'm backwards. I want this strap. Which strap is that? That's the front of the strap down here. Okay. There's no rhyme or reason for the way they do this. It's just the way. They're drawing on the back of something else there now. Okay, it's this one down here. Yeah, so I want that one. So I'm going to highlight all this one without highlighting that one. Okay. And I want to get the back straps, which is this one. I think each of these straps are a front and a back. Let me just rotate this 3D around and we'll see. I think that's the way it is. Yeah. Okay. So each wide strap here. Hang on a second. Each strap is a front and a back and an edge. So you can see the small edges, top and bottom, and you can see front and back. So we're going to do the back half now, which is these guys here. If it's a 3D object, it's much easier and quicker than if I did the rivets, I'd have to do this by hand, draw each one pure white and draw everything completely black. And it would be a pain in the ass. And it's probably this one. That's this one here. Okay. Okay. So the front and back of those two straps. And as you can see, they don't line up. They don't need to be. You'd imagine if these two are one strap, these two would be the next strap, but it's not. So that's an entire white strap. It's going to light those up. And the buckles are not part of it. The buckles are part of the metal. You can see the untextured metal there that loops them together. Then we're going to add a picture of a dog's paw up here, which will be done with an overlay. I'll show you that in a second. With those two. Do you know what I might do? I might just make these. Yes, I'm going to make... Where is that? Okay. Oh, I accidentally clicked one up there. Is that this strap? I'm going to make the middle of these straps. Also, just the outside of them, not the back of them. I'm going to make these nice and slow. This strap will have a light source coming down the middle of it as well. We're going to curl it around to the back. I'll fix that funny texture now in a second. And curl it around. Oh, wait. No. We don't need that. We do need this. We don't need to finish up with that there, because that's hidden anyway on the avatar's leg. Close off these. And there was another one somewhere. Oh, Oh, it's 4 there. Okay. And oh, the white one there I missed. Close out those. And switch back to white. Okay, it's going to do the same on this strap. Now, because it's a mission, as well as having it just display a different color along these white lines, you can also add special effects like rolling RGB, different colors. You'll see a lot of tunes that have glitter effects in eyeballs and stuff. This is how they do it. You'd white out the blue of an eyeball and add a glitter effect to the white layer. Because white's invisible except for what you're doing, it looks perfect on it. Or hair, if you're doing highlights in hair, this is also how you do it. You would pull in your hair and set the strands you want and just set the emission to be at an angle and different opacencies. Oh, I hate the way you move in this program. Okay, I have to go all the way up. Now let's finish off the black bits. I think that's wrong there too. I can do them here. Okay, so that's the bit that curls around. Okay. Where's that? That's the side. Is that these two? Yeah. It's easier to draw on the flat 2Ds if you know which way around they are. Because when you're drawn this way, you can accidentally paint things behind it, and it's a pain in the ass. Okay. Let's take a look at that. Rotate. All right. So when this is uploaded, it'll let me glow. Oh, why isn't that going all the way up? Where's that? Wait. Oh, it's this one. There. Let me glow all these white areas. There. Perfect. So all I'm going to do now is just going to pull in a logo. I'll Google an SVG off a Foxwood print or something like that, and I'm going to stick it on the waistband. Oh, kind of like that one. Is that an SVG? It's a PNG. Don't know will that work. Oh, it might. Don't know. It'll work. Okay. Just throw it into my where is it? This hard drive. Oh yeah, it's got a blank background. It might work. So if I turn back on colors now, lighting materials, you can see the bits we've painted white. You could make cleaner lines if you were hand painting it, but I mean, no one's gonna be looking that hard at it. What I'm going to do now is just put the little logo here. I'm going to switch back to base color. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to make it on top of the fill layer. I am going to make it on top of the fill layer. Oh no, I can make another one here. So fill layer, and we can go add another paint layer. And on this paint layer, that's that one, this one, we're going to go file, and we're going to import the Ziggy Fox footprint. We're going to tell it that it is a, oh, am I going to tell it's an alpha or not? I'm going to give texture. And where's current project? There it is. So what we're going to do, if this works, tell it it's a mask. It's way too big. Where's the reset? No, it's trying to get the corners of the PNG. Hang on there a second. That's not going to work. We can make it into a pen if this doesn't work. Hang on. Can we do normal? Am I pulling in black on white? No. Okay, we're going to make it into a pen and just draw it straight on. Let's see this thing. So, in our, sure it's the right layer. Nope. This layer, we're going to make a brush. We're going to give it a stencil. Stencil is going to be our pen. Go. Oh, no, sorry. Shape. I'm going to shape. Why can't I shape that? Oh, we might actually have one here. It's human hands. Why isn't there fuzzy hands? Oh, I could go one of those instead. No, I don't see one. Yeah, stencil, no tiling. That's what I want. It's not what I want, apparently. Yeah, it should work. Why isn't that working? Alright, we'll just put a different logo on it. We'll, ooh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Let's go with that. All right. So we're going to take a damn good guesstimation on what is center. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm not going to have it overload too much. Stick it there. Oh, it's too big. Hang on. A bit smaller. Oh. Yeah, we can go there. Fine. All right. Perfect. I don't know why that's gone white. All right. So this is what we want. We want these two straps to glow completely, 2 lines on these straps, and this little logo in the middle here to glow as well. what we're going to do now is we're going to export it since we're finished drawing on it. We're going to go, let me just make sure I don't have any white spots before I do. No, everything is where it should be. Okay, we're going to go and go File, Export Textures. You tell it where you want to put it. So I'm going to put it in my Ziggy folder real quick, which is in here, Ziggy. And we only want to export the leather, not the metal. Templates here, if you don't have one set up, Unity HD Render Pipeline Metallic is fine. Or, yeah, Metallic usually. That's the one I've set up, isn't it? Where is it? Unity Render Pipeline Metallic Standard, yeah. And that's it. You just hit export. And it exports the stuff, and you can see it over here. And what it's given me is this guy here, which is an image with the straps. And it's also inserted metadata into the image, so when it's imported into Unity, it knows what it is, where the borders are, and where it's meant to go. So it knows this is the waist, it knows this is the tall straps, and it knows this is the things. Even though we can't see the borders, it's built into the image, it's baked in. So I'm going to jump back to Unity. And okay, you can speak, I don't mind, you can ask questions. What we're going to do is, this is the normal thing now, the normal harness with its shaders. So I'm running Pyomi shaders, which don't work on Quest, but this will also work on Quest because you can do mission layers on Quest. What we're going to do, we have this where we want it, we're going to overlay the things we want right now. So what I'm going to do is, this is the leg harness here. You can see it has two different layers. What we're going to do is we're going to make a new material. So just to keep things where they have to be, in the Rex leg harness, I'm going to add in the textures folder, I'm going to add, create a new material. It's just a white ball, that's fine. What we're going to do, we're going to call this the emission layer. Oh, never mind, doesn't matter, spelled wrong. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the leg harness. We're going to tell it that instead of having two different materials, we're going to tell it it's going to use 3, not 32, 3 different materials. So right now it is these two and bracelet. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab the new one we made, which is emulator, drag it in here. And right now there's nothing on it. It's standard. We're going to change it to Pyomi 8, Pyomi Tune. I might have to change the order of these in a second. I don't know, does this read from top to bottom priority or bottom to top priority? We'll see in 2 seconds. So in here, we're going to go to Special Effects, and we're going to go to Emissions. We have Emission Layer 1, or 0. And we're going to drop our new emission layer on top of it, but we don't have it imported yet. So the place that we exported it to, which was in my Zig folder, we have our emission here. We're going to drop it into the texture folder, import it, and it's down there, Rex leg harness, leather base map. We're going to go back to leg harness and our new layer, or what's it called? Material, and drop in the emission layer into the emission. Oh, I can't drop it. I have to click on it. It's on the wrong window. The emission layer into here, and it was called Rex leg. Rex leg. Oh, I might have to put it into a different folder actually. I should be able to drag it in though. I want to drag in. Am I unlocked? Yeah, I'm unlocked. Oh, I can. There we go. All right. So the order is wrong because you can't see it. So I'm just going to change the order around so we can see it. We want element Which way are we going to do this now? Which is the easiest? We're going to change element 1 to the emission layer, or yeah, 1 to now. And we're going to change that to the wrong place. So here, piercing bracelet layer. No, still not showing, so we got to bring this one up here to number 1. So we want this layer up here. That's what we want. And we want the skin layer down below it, which was the leather. All right, perfect. So now that's go to 3. Sorry. Somebody need to pick about the order things are in. So we go to here. You can tell it's all black. The missions are on. No, something is funny here somewhere. Mission 0, replace base. Let me try it down here instead. Mission layer. Mission mask. Not liking that. Will it use as a normal map? It does use it as a normal map. That's okay, we can do it this way then. So we're going to drag the change the plan. We're going to go back to 2 materials. We're going to change element 0 to the leather. We're going to change element 2 to, or 1 to the bracelet, which is what I had for the rings. Then we're going to go to the top layer, which is Ziggy leather, which is down here in my texture folder. And we're going to add a FX layer, emission 0. Oh, it's locked. Let me unlock the shader. Emission 0 should flash. There we go. We're going to bring in this guy to emission mask. Because everything's black, it won't work. There we go. So we can see the ones we want lighting up now. So what I did was, because this particular FBX is only set up for 2 elements, I couldn't add a third one. So I just added the overlay down in the emissions part of the initial texture. And that can be done in standard as well. You don't have to add an entire new texture. I think Quest only likes 2 textures. Not textures, but elements. So these are the bits we want to light up. So we know they're lighting up because when I add light to them, they pop up a bit. So what I want to do is, now they have an emission mask, we can do things like hue shift. Oh, turn up a bit. We can do things like hue shift. Doesn't seem to work. I might have to switch this around to the emission layer. Technical difficulties. There, that's better. We should be able to do matcaps now. So if I go down to, oh, so if I wanted this just to glow like this in game, I can change the color. Everybody seems to be green lately. Switch it to green, and this will glow like this in game. Depending on how strong your emission level is how much it'll glow. That'd be if you're on Quest, that's pretty much all you can do under normal missions. You'd have to add it as a matcap otherwise. So what I'm going to do is, despite it looking kind of good like that, I'm going to add a matcap to it instead. So instead of this being an emission layer, I'm going to go down here to close this out of the way, to shading. I'm going to add a matcap. And matcaps use the same layer as emissions. I'm going to add the emission I made earlier as the mask. And for a matcap, these will change as I do it. Let me zoom in here a bit. there so you can see everything at once. As a matte cap, there they are. You can add things like gold. Nice little gold band up the side and the logos in gold. And it already does the overlay texture and the height maps and stuff. Even though they're virtual, they look really good. So what I'm probably going to do after this is I'm going to make this strap the same as these. I mean, the other way around. Make these the same as the strap. I'm going to put the black corners back on and give it a nice blue metallic sheen, which is kind of like the buckle. Kind of like that too. You can make it like glass. You can do whatever you want with matcaps. And the matcaps do work in Quest as well. If you're allowed, if you don't go over the amount of materials needed, you can add matcaps to just about anything. And these are ones that come standard with Pyomi. These aren't like bought ones around like that. Ooh, I like to look at some of these. Bit too red. Oh, I like that red. And because these are matcaps, they are light reactive. So depending on the way you look at them, let me see if I can find one that I can show easy with. They automatically have reflections and stuff built in. Reflection, and refractions built into them. I could be at this all day. All right, I'm just going to choose one and I'll show it to me. All right, so this one here, right? You can see how the legs are right now. If I rotate around, the colors will change. See? It's always purple towards me. So it changes in real time, and that's the same in the game. It takes the matcaps properties and brings it into the game. It's really handy. And that'd be the same with hair. You could put matcaps on hair or anything you want. So that's pretty nice. But what I'm going to do after this video is done, I'm going to take these straps and put lines on them, just like this. They're a little bit too over the top the way they are there, but I like this. Pretty good. And you can do straps in different orders and stuff. But that is basically how you make an emission layer and put it on top of your avatar and then change the material that the emission is pushing through without having to worry about everything else. So all you got to do is draw the shape you want in pure white, everything you don't want to get covered in pure black, and bring it over as a new texture or add it in. If you're using Pyomi, add it in any of the layers you want. And you can also make some sparkle and all this other stuff. If I wanted to go to leg harness again, material for leg harness. What was it? Leather? No, not leather. This one, Ziggy leather. You can do things like hue shift. You can see it's changing color. You can animate the hue shift so the speed of it goes all the time without you touching it. It'll just rotate through the hues of the hue shift. You can give the hue shift a map so it does different types of hue shifts. You can do sparkling, reflections already added in here. There's a million different things you can add once you start getting good at that. I'm not great at shaders, but I mean, this doesn't take any extra processing power. It's all built into the matcap itself. It's not like an emission or a particle emission. That'll kill people's frames rate. This is kind of pre-rendered in the it's baked into the texture itself. It's not something that has to be processed. And things like refractive surfaces, where this is refractive here, is built into your GPU. It's not something that takes an awful lot of processing to do. So yeah, that was emission layers, matcaps, and what's it called? Emission layers and matcaps, yeah, on white. And that can be done on any texture. So I don't know if you can follow it, but it worked pretty good. I'm going to do some changes and we'll upload it. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys next time.